Good morning, good morning, good morning. We thank God for all of his many, many blessings that he has given to us from early of our existence even up to now. And we must recognize that it is in him that we move and we have our being, and all belongs to him. And we must recognize that he is the author and the finisher of our faith. And we must acknowledge him even in the times and turmoils that we're going through now. He is still in control of everything. This is our last study of Elijah, and he's telling us how we are to serve, mean that we got to get out of our comfort zone. And today is no different. As we conclude this study, we see that we are responsible for leading others to serve. As believers, we are responsible for leading others to serve. And so we are just servants. That's the bottom line. We're just servants and on God program, serving where we need to serve, serving the people that we come in contact with today. And our point is we are responsible to lead others to serve God. That is our responsibility to lead others to serve God. And it's come to us from First Kings chapter 19, verses 19 through 21, and Second Kings chapter 2, verses 6 through 14. So if we look at our point, we are responsible for leading others to God, whatever way it is, by lifestyle, by the way we speak, by the way we live, by the way we give. We are responsible for leading others to Christ. Our first outline is from First Kings chapter 19, verses 19 through 21. And it reads, Elijah left there and found Elisha, the son of Shaphan, as he was plowing. 12 teams of oxen were in front of him, and he was with the 12th team. Elijah walked by him and threw his mantle over him. Elijah left the Elisha left the oxen, ran to follow Elijah, and said, Please let me kiss my father and mother, and then I will follow you. Go on back, he replied, for what have I done to you? So he turned back from following him, took the team of oxen, and slaughtered them with the oxen's wooden yoke and plow. He cooked the meat and gave it to the people, and they ate. Then he left, followed Elijah, and served him. So, so this is on the heels of last week's lesson, how we were responsible to be loyal. We were responsible to serve in spite of discouragement. It was our responsibility. And after Elijah had done that, he went back to the place where he started. Now, I need you to understand now, this is in the middle of Ahab's land. So it really was where he started. And so Elijah went there. He found, notice what happened now. He found Elijah working. Elijah was a farmer. And because he was a farmer, he was not idle. Elijah was working. Now remember the fisherman. He found some uh, cleaning the net, and he found some mending net. But the bottom line is they were working. Point. God does not use anyone who is idle. He doesn't use them. So he found him and he was plowing with his yoke ox. Now a yoke is two. So he had 12 teams. And that means that he had 24 oxen. And he was using the 12th set. And now another thing happened. Okay, he found him working, but he also walked past and threw his mantle over him. Now, some of us are confused about what that means. In everyday term, that means you're up next. When that mantle fall on you, you are up next. So if we look at it in that terms, Elijah threw the mantle on Elisha to let him know that he was the next man up in leadership. Remember now, lead others to Christ. See, Elijah went to Elisha and he threw his mantle on him to let him know that you are the next man up. Now, he asked the favor of Elijah. He said, well, let me go and kiss my mother and father, and then I'll be back. Then I'll come back. And then he did that. And he also did what's called, he did a farewell dinner. He did a farewell dinner when he cooked the oxen and gave it. And what did he do? He followed Elijah and served him. So that's a little bit of what happened. But now let's look at some lasting truths here from 1 Kings 19:21. God sometimes uses other believers to help us identify our calling for Him, others to lead. All right? When God calls us to a task, our responsibility should be complete surrender. Nothing else matters when He calls us. And then pursuing God's call includes both sacrifice and celebration. So that's what leading others to Christ, to follow and serve God. Our next outline, 2 Kings chapter 2, verses 6 through 11. He said, Elijah said to him, stay here, the Lord is sending me to the Jordan. But Elisha said, as the Lord lives, and as you yourself lives, I will not leave you. So the two of them went on. 50 men from the sons of the prophets came and stood observing them at a distance, while the two of them stood by the Jordan. Elijah took his mantle, rolled it up, and struck the water, which parted to the right and left. Then the two of them crossed over on dry ground. When they had crossed over, Elijah said to Elisha, tell me what I can do for you before I am taken up from you. So Elijah answered, please let me inherit two share of your spirit, double portion of your spirit, King James Version. Elijah replied, you have asked for something difficult. If you see me being taken from you, you will have it. If not, you won't. As they continued walking and talking, a chariot of fire with horses of fire suddenly appeared and separated the two of them. Then Elijah went up into heaven in a whirlwind. We must serve with the end in mind. We must serve with the end in mind. And because we are serving with the end in mind, it is important for us to keep that in mind, to keep that in mind. Serve with the end in mind. So Elijah said to him, stay here. But Elisha said, I can't stay, I can't leave you, so I need to stay. So the two of them crossed over the Jordan. The unique thing about crossing over the Jordan was it was high. It was high. But then Elijah took his mantle and spouted the water. And because he spouted the water, then the water separated and they walked across on dry ground. And so, and as he did that, he crossed over. Elijah was getting ready to leave. Now, you notice Elijah didn't die. Elijah, Elijah was taken up. There was two people who didn't die. All right. All right. Methuselah and Elijah. All right. So in that, we're seeing he's serving with the end in mind. And because of that, he asked the favor of Elijah. He said, give me a double portion of your spirit. So you see what Elijah did. He wanted twice as much as Elijah did. And so it's so important for us to keep that in mind. And then when he asked for that, and he said, if you see me go, if you see me, then you have it. If not, it won't. So he saw him go. And so he had a double portion of his spirit. Listen to the truths of this lesson. Wise believers find solid mentors who can teach them more about serving God. God encourages us to ask for greater power to perform greater ministry for his glory. Like Elisha, we should consider how our current opportunities can produce eternal benefit. So the next one, 2 Kings chapter 2, verses 12 through 14. As Elijah watched, he kept crying, my father, the chariots and the horsemen of Israel. When he could see him no longer, he took hold of his own clothes, tore them in two, picked up the mantle that had fallen off Elijah, and went back and stood on the bank of the Jordan. He took the mantle Elijah had dropped and struck the water. Where, where is the Lord God of Elijah? He asked. He struck the water himself, and it parted to the right and to the left, and Elijah crossed over. Serve so that ministry is ongoing. Because someone is not here, we are still responsible for serving. The work must go on. That's the main thing we got right there. Because X, Y, and Z is not here, we are still responsible for providing ministry to God's people. Lasting truths. In God's economy, no leader is irreplaceable. Believers should be ready to serve in every situation so effective ministry can continue. And God's power is the ultimate sign God's hand is on the leader. So we are responsible for leading others to God, just as Elijah did. Because Elijah wasn't here, it did not mean that the ministry should stop. It's the same thing here. Because I'm not here, it does not mean that the ministry should stop. And so, as we lead others to serve God, it is very important that we do. May God richly bless you. my beloved.